Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh and this is your stimulus check update for Saturday, July 4th. I hope everyone is having a great Independence Day so far and enjoying their day with loved ones. In this video, I'll be discussing both the first and second stimulus checks, including what we may see in the second stimulus package, including that vacation credit that we all seem to love so much. I'll also be going over the EIDL grant once again, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, giving me a big thumbs up, it really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other people like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. In addition to that, leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know whether or not you received your first stimulus check yet or not. Believe it or not, there are still millions of people who haven't even received their first stimulus check. So let me know in the comment section below whether or not you received your first stimulus check yet or not. All right, so I just wanted to start out this video by discussing the first stimulus check. And even though just a month or two from now, we may be seeing the second round of stimulus checks going out, there are still millions of people, like I mentioned before, that still haven't even received their first stimulus check. Now, with the next wave of direct deposits set to go out next Wednesday on July 8th, I would recommend that everyone go through and check the payment portal and let me know in the comment section below if you're also receiving a payment date of July 8th as well. And if you're still receiving the error message of payment status not available, that does not mean that you're ineligible for the stimulus payment. That just means that the IRS has just not yet scheduled a delivery date for you. And if you would like, you can even call the IRS about this stimulus payment if you haven't received your first stimulus check. The EIP hotline they recommend to call is 1-800-919-9835. Now, I will say that you probably will be on hold for at least a couple of hours. So I would try to call earlier in the day, and also know that you may not really find out much more information than what you can already find for yourself through the payment portal. And remember, as long as you filed a tax return for the last 2 years, or if you're on Social Security benefits, as long as you started receiving your benefits before 2020, then no action is required on your part to receive your stimulus check. Also, the IRS is going to continue sending out weekly direct deposits. So just because you haven't received your stimulus check yet doesn't mean that you're going to be left out. They're going to continually send out more and more direct deposits each and every week. So you will eventually get paid. So hang in there. Try not to drive yourself too crazy. You will eventually receive your payment date. Okay, moving right along to some second stimulus check updates. The Senate is now officially on recess and they won't be coming back to Washington until July 20th. Now, just because the Senate is on recess doesn't necessarily mean that all of their work is going to be halted. In the meantime, the congressmen will be doing their own research, perhaps making some phone calls, and then they'll be trying to decide kind of on their own what should be in the next stimulus bill before they return to Washington on July 20th. And whenever Congress returns to Washington on July 20th, they'll have all the way through August 7th to come up with the next stimulus bill. That means that the Senate will just have 15 working days to come up with a bipartisan bill that not only can they get behind and pass, but also a bill that the House Democrats can also get behind and pass as well. And of course, that is no easy feat considering how far opposites Democrats and Republicans can be on certain issues. However, the Democrats and the Republicans were able to work together well enough to get the CARES Act passed, that first stimulus package where we all received the first $1,200 stimulus payments. So I do believe that they should be able to work together well enough to get the second stimulus package passed as well. Because if not, well then unfortunately Congress will be going on yet another recess vacation from August 10th all the way through September 7th, which of course would also kill all of the momentum that they have going for them right now as far as the next stimulus package goes, and could also potentially kill off any chance of receiving a second stimulus check. Now, I don't think it would kill off the chances of receiving a second stimulus check if that does get pushed back another month, but we certainly do not want to be waiting one more month to receive our stimulus checks. And quite frankly, it would be a real disappointment if Congress was unable to pass the next stimulus bill before they go on their next recess in early August. Okay, so as we all saw, the June jobs report came out just a couple of days ago and it just looked spectacular. It smashed all expectations once again by adding 4.8 million jobs, lowering the unemployment rate all the way down to 11.1%. Now, even though an 11.1% unemployment rate is still much higher than it should be, we are still making really good progress. Of course, as we all should know, the data from that June jobs report did come out in mid-June. And of course, what happened after mid-June? Oh yeah, another huge spike in the cases of the virus. And of course, unfortunately, those huge spikes of cases in the virus may also result in a large chunk of businesses possibly restricting their openings or possibly even shutting down completely once again. Which of course will also lead to, that's right, more job layoffs. So hopefully with all that said, our congressmen will be able to put 1 and 2 together and put together yet another strong stimulus package. Either way, President Donald Trump has come out now on multiple occasions and pretty much essentially guaranteed us a second round of stimulus payments. And he even said recently that he wants the next stimulus package and next stimulus checks to be even more generous than what the Democrats are proposing right now. And just to compare, the Democrats' HEROES Act that they passed back in the House back in mid-May. It contained $1,200 stimulus payments to all Americans and $1,200 stimulus payments to all dependents, even including those dependents over the age of 17 who were left out in the CARES Act. So if Donald Trump wants the next stimulus bill to be stronger, there's a real possibility we may be receiving like a $2,000 stimulus check after all. Now, I don't think it's actually going to be $2,000. There have been different proposals of $2,000 stimulus checks and even an ongoing $2,000 per month stimulus payment. I don't think it's going to be that good. I think this is just Donald Trump being Donald Trump and going out and trying to outdo the Democrats, because there's kind of like a war going on with the Democrats and Donald Trump. They kind of go back and forth. It's, can be quite entertaining on certain occasions. But I think this is just Donald Trump being Donald Trump. I think it will be another $1,200 stimulus payment, but I am very confident we will definitely receive a second stimulus check. The biggest disagreement that the Democrats and the Republicans may have at the moment might be centered around unemployment. As we all know, the Democrats support extending the $600 federal boost to unemployment perhaps through the end of the year, whereas the Republicans feel that that could potentially provide a disincentive to actually work. The Republicans are seeing that some people who are receiving that $600 federal unemployment boost on a weekly basis are actually earning more money sitting at home on unemployment than they were actually at their jobs working for their regular wage. So the Republicans, on the other hand, want to encourage people to go back to work and even offering a weekly bonus to do so. We've all seen Senator Kevin Portman's $450 weekly back to work bonus, and although that bill has not yet become a law and hasn't yet passed, it is something that we certainly could possibly see in the next stimulus package. And even if we don't see it in the next stimulus package, it's definitely something that's going to be on the table and something that's going to be talked about. Another thing that I could possibly see happening, me personally, is that $600 federal unemployment boost get extended through the end of the year, but instead of it being $600, get cut down in half to perhaps something like $300. Another thing that we might be looking at in the next stimulus package potentially is once again that vacation tax credit. Now, we have already seen a couple of different $4,000 travel tax credits suggested. And with a lot of the hospitality sector struggling right now, the Republicans are trying to encourage people to get out and travel and kind of help out those industries. And while most of us agree that most people probably won't have the money right now to travel, or some people may not even be feeling safe to travel domestically throughout the United States, it is something that may be in the next stimulus package, so it's something that you should be prepared for. So if you do travel throughout the US, even just go to a restaurant or every time that you go to get gas, I would take a photo of your receipt or keep some type of log for that, because if you are logging all those transactions, that could potentially save you some money come tax time. A lot of exciting developments should be taking place over the next couple of weeks, even with the Senate out for recess. Okay, and just a quick reminder, if you have any type of side hustle or small business, the EIDL grant is still going on. They're still accepting applications. That money has not run out completely yet, but that money will be running out very, very soon. So if you haven't yet applied for that grant, I would strongly encourage you to do so. This could be any type of side hustle or small business. You could be selling on eBay part-time. You could be driving for Uber or Lyft. If you were affected in any shape or form by this pandemic, then apply for the grant. It is $1,000 per employee, up to 10 employees. If you don't have any employees, you would be the employee, so you would be eligible for a $1,000 grant. In the description box below, I will leave a link in which you can apply for this grant. And remember, if you have any hesitation whatsoever on whether or not you would be eligible, just apply. You have nothing to lose here. All right, so at this point, I would just like to wrap up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you have any other comments or questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to respond to as many comments and questions as I possibly can. And those comments and questions that I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to respond to in the next video in video form. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first comment of today's video. And that comment comes from Tammy. Tammy says, will people on SSI receive a second stimulus check the same way they received the first stimulus check? All right, thank you so much for that question, Tammy. So in this case, yes, you should also be receiving a second stimulus check as well. Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin has already made it pretty clear that everyone who received the first stimulus payment in the CARES Act would also be eligible for the second stimulus check as well. So since people on SSI were eligible for the first stimulus check, then you should also be receiving a second stimulus check as well. All All right, so the next question today comes from Raymond. Raymond says, I've started my Social Security disability on November 2019. Will I be getting a stimulus check? All right, thank you so much for that question, Raymond. So since you did start receiving SSI in 2019, then you're definitely eligible for a stimulus check. Even if you started it in 2020, you would be eligible as well. The only difference is that you would have to go through the non-filers tool to claim your stimulus check. But since you started receiving your SSI benefits before 2020, then no action is required on your part, and you will receive your stimulus check automatically. Now, you can go through the payment portal to find out when you're going to receive your payment date. They are going to continue to send out stimulus checks for the first round every single Wednesday for the foreseeable future until everyone gets paid. So if you haven't yet received your first stimulus check, hang in there, you will eventually get paid. All right, so on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so and a great support to me. Also, if you would like to receive one free stock from Robinhood valued all the way up to $500, feel free to claim that stock by clicking the link in the description box below. And until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.